Oh my god! So you remember way back, I don't know how many videos ago, when I mentioned that I'm going to be building a pole barn in hopefully a few months. Also, there's the Suburban, for those of you who've been asking. Hasn't gone anywhere. It's been killing it on daily duty. There were a lot of you guys that asked to kind of be kept in the loop with the whole garage building process and just kind of what's going on with it, because some of you guys wanted to do your own someday. Or whatever your reason was, but I figured I'd take a second to kind of go over some of the things. So this hill right behind me is where I'm gonna be putting the pole barn. You can see some of like the fence posts there. I just kind of staked out roughly the size it'll be. But yeah, that whole hill is gonna get dug out basically to level with the rest of the yard here. Also, there's the Fiero. But it's gonna get dug out to level with this yard, and this will get leveled out a little bit here and there. And I'm gonna be putting the pole barn there with the doors this way. I'm gonna be doing 3 overhead doors and 1 entry door. It'll be a 12 by 12 all the way to the right, and then right next to it is gonna be, I think I said, a 9 by 9 and a 9 by 9. And then right next to that is gonna be the entry door. And then roughly 16 feet to the left of that is all gonna be just like workshop area. So it'll be roughly like 30 by 40 on the right, which will be just like vehicle parking and like a spot for a hoist, stuff like that. And then 16 by 30 on the left is going to be just workshop area, like workbenches, all the tools, drill presses, things like that. And I'm going to try and talk my father-in-law to letting me steal some of his machines. He's been a machinist for, God, I don't even know how long, but that whole side of the family, my wife's parents and uncles and stuff like that, well, not her mom, but they've all been machinists for collectively a long ass time. And he's got a bunch of old machines that doesn't really get used anymore in his pole barn. So I'm going to try to steal a few of those. At least like the Bridgeport mill and the lathe and shit like that. The forklift would be nice because eventually I want to put a loft in the garage above the workshop. Because it's going to be 14-foot ceilings, so that I can comfortably fit a hoist in there and not really worry about that. And then I want to do like a loft above the whole 16 by 30 workshop area. And then we are thinking about moving the propane tank probably back by those trees behind it, just so it's kind of out of the way. And then I want to get this whole area kind of like paved or whatever as like a little parking area. But that's all down the road. Shit costs money, and I'm running out of it. Speaking of things that are costing money, let's go to the garage and start working on Goldie Hawn. Because if you didn't see the last video, the transmission in Goldie Hawn is kaput. So I'm gonna take a couple hours today and get the transmission pulled and probably bring it back over here so that I can rebuild it here and not have to run all the way over to the garage just to work on a transmission. Some assholes have been doing burnouts in front of the garage. Disrespectful. Man, I am tired of dealing with transmissions. Let's get this thing lifted up and start tearing it apart. It's gonna be almost identical to what we had to do with this thing in the last video. Drive shaft, mount, blah blah fucking blah, except there's a lot more exhaust in the way on this thing. I'm pretty tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really tired. I might just take a nap real quick. Alright, here's the underside of Goldie Hawn, looking as grimy as ever, but everything's kind of looking like it should. For anybody who doesn't know, this is already a 4L80. I swapped that in. I did a couple videos on it. You can check those out if you're interested in doing the 80 swap yourself. It might help. I've had a couple people tell me that they went back and watched them and it actually did help. For instance, like the cross member, I didn't have to buy a new one. All I needed was this piece of angle iron, cut the mount off, flipped it around, welded this in as like a spacer, and everything has worked great. Anyway, unrelated to that, everything out here is looking good. I was hoping to see maybe like something that came unplugged or something pretty obvious, but everything's looking good. So I do believe I am going to have to still pull it out, which is a bummer. Also, big thank you to Circle D. They've been awesome to me. They hooked me up with this converter for a pretty good deal. If you need a converter for pretty much anything, definitely go check them out. They've been a big help, so anything I can do to help them out in return, I will gladly do. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to pull it out. So it looks like I'm going to start pulling the exhaust off because that's going to have to come out. This is just the Speed Engineering True Dual X-Pipe exhaust. This is a whole lot of deja vu, and I'm just not feeling the ambition today. Alright, Goldie Hawn is now sans trans. Got this thing out in record time. Probably like 45 minutes if you don't count all the fucking around. And then we'll drop the truck down, throw all the shit back in the bed and push that out. Oh man, I forgot about my bumper. I think that's from the trip to Texas though. The trans was sitting in the trailer behind it, smashing into it.
The what?
All the dents right here.
Yeah.
I think most of that's from when we had the truck loaded up in the trailer and the 60E was sitting behind it. The bell housing kept smashing into it every time we'd stop. Like I said, we're gonna clean up the garage a little bit, push the truck out, and then I'll probably load this up in the back of the Suburban and tear it down at my place tomorrow and see what my super inexperienced eyes can find out. And I think I'm just gonna order like a rebuild kit or something from Oregon Performance, because you can get like the master rebuild kit for like a stock transmission, and you can throw in on the order the Transgo HG2 kit. And I'm a big fan of ordering everything at once from one place. It's just a lot easier, and I'm really lazy. I still have no idea what's actually wrong with this thing. The fluid looked and smelled and tasted fine, and it worked great on the pancakes this morning. So I don't know what's going on with this thing.
Put it in last year?
Yeah, but it was a $100 junkyard transmission.
Oh.
Bone stock, never even...
We didn't take it over to what's his name, Schreiber.
No. I was debating on having him rebuild it, but I mean, I can get the parts and everything for $350. Hopefully learn a little bit. And there's a shitload of how-to videos and tutorials and stuff like that. And from Oregon Performance, you can add on to your order like a rebuild manual. So I'm definitely gonna do that.
You ever tore one apart before?
No.
Push it real fast and let it slide.
Might as well, it's junk anyway. Good enough. And just like that, with minimal mess, trans is all loaded up. So I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I'll tear into it in the next one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.